Yes, we're both so excited. It's definitely been so fun to work on just from the start. And Goodbye Stuart is my short film that I directed, wrote, produced, and star in. And Ashton stars as Ethan in the film, and he's amazing. The film is about the last day of summer for these three best friends, and Elle, who I play, she is getting ready to go on her own journey and branch off from their beautiful hometown of Stuart. And it's kind of just a nostalgic film about the chapters that we leave behind that in the moment you maybe don't realize you're leaving behind, and then you turn the page and sometimes a lot of things change. And I guess what's really special about it is I think it's a film that will relate to anyone of all ages. That's one of my favorite little stories because it's kind of just a nod to everything happens for a reason and kind of like how things all come together. We both share the same manager, which is really special. And I was talking to my manager about how I wanted to cast someone for this role, and I kind of gave some inspiration and what I was looking for. And I had a few actors kind of send in their reels, and I watched every single one, and there were so many talented kind of like tapes that came through just watching their reels, but Ashton really stood out to me, and he's just so talented as an actor. And I was like, I want to take a meeting with him and see how he is as a person, because for me it's all about who you work with and how their personalities in real life kind of transpire to being on set, and he was just awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like she said, it was fate that I feel like, we crossed paths and we got to work on this project together. She's an absolutely like immense talent that's rising in the industry, and just like the way she takes charge on set, as the leader, and everyone kind of looks up to her as well. And she wrote this beautiful script that I felt so like attached to just from reading the first draft. And yeah, it got me hooked right away, and I was so, just so thankful and honored that she wanted me to be a part of this journey in her debut film. And yeah, just shooting on set every day, it was so fun. She runs a really good show there, makes it seem so like effortless, and she wants everyone to feel comfortable in what they're doing. And yeah, she's an amazing actress as well, as you will see in the film. She's awesome. And yeah, I'm just so thankful to be a part of this film.
It was really interesting, and actually I give credit to Ashton for this. Like when we had our little meeting, he had just gotten done shooting his first or second project actually, which is Summer of '76, which is out now, and it's incredible. But I asked him, I was like, what's one piece of advice you'd give to someone like me that's stepping into her first project? And he said, really try to just be in the moment and be present and kind of take it all in. And of course, that's kind of my motto in general. I really love to just be present in anything that I'm doing because life's too short, and I want to like be there to really witness it all. And on set, juggling all the hats, I mean, we wore all the hats. For me personally, it was like I didn't have one specific role. I was truly doing everything, but I felt so grateful to be surrounded by such an incredible crew. In the cast, they obviously like held their own, and they brought such light to the project. And my co-director, Nick, who wrote and directed with me, was such a huge mentor throughout the whole process, which really made it less stressful. But going into it that first day, I was like, okay, we're gonna take a deep breath this morning. We're gonna do things as I would normally do and just really take it all in. And that's what I did. And I feel like, surprisingly, I didn't feel very stressed on set. Like it truly just felt like three kids living their last day of summer and telling a story that, like we said, hopefully everyone relates to.
I really enjoyed hanging out with our other co-star. Her name's Isha. She's super talented, such a fun girl, and I think we were just laughing all day, all night. One shoot day we did it till like I think it was like midnight or 1 a.m. and I know that's when delirium starts kicking in. You start getting a little bit lost in what you're doing, but when you have your besties with you and you guys are just laughing and cracking up, I think everything is a good time.
I think my favorite, again, kind of the same as Ashton, like truly it was so fun. And it was a really quick shoot. We did it in the matter of 2 days. So it was a really quick, just back to back, long days, fun days, a lot of getting delirious. But there's one scene in the film that I don't want to spoil, but Ashton and I had to like drive the car in it, and we were gearing up for it, and we were doing like method acting of going back and forth and just playing off of each other. And our incredible sound guy was like, I thought you guys were actually arguing. And so that's a little hint to the story, but that was really funny because we were like, oh, well, that's great. We were really in the zone prepping. Yeah. I mean, again, obviously bringing it back to my hometown brought up so many memories for me, and writing it, I wrote a lot from, of course, personal experience, but I also, for my first film, wanted it to, like I've kind of said, to be something that everyone could relate to. So I worked with my co-writer and even my mom, my dad, like asking people in my life that are close to me for their own personal experiences during this time when you go from high school to your next phase of life. And I kind of took all that information, which was really beautiful, reading their own stories and like what they had to say about their memories. And I looked at the common denominator of all the stories, and everyone had a Stuart, whether it was a place, a person, just a specific, moment for them in time. They all had that common denominator. So I do too. And so I really pulled from all of that and created this piece that everyone's going to be able to hopefully relate to. But yeah, when we were walking around on set, it's definitely weird because I was like, wow, I've literally lived a lot of these exact kind of moments.
Yeah, well, when we had our first original meeting and we met up, I just remember we kind of just like bounced back like thoughts and ideas and like past stuff that we've been through for like an hour and a half. We just sat on like a park bench and just talked literally about like, our past experiences in life, friendship, relationship, whatever that may be. I just know, that's exactly who Ethan and Elle are in the story. They're best friends since they're children. So, just like talking about our life and like getting to know each other on a deep level, I think that really translates to what you're going to see on the camera, with such like a deep-rooted friendship. And, just sharing those experiences really gets like us to know each other, not just on a personal level, but like on a film level as well.
I mean, I learned so much during the shoot days, of course, because it was my first project in general. So I think for me, the biggest takeaway from this whole experience, and I was actually talking about this yesterday with Ashton, has just been, obviously I'm so proud of the project and like what it's turned out to be, but both of us being in our early 20s, it's our sponge years and we're just kind of taking in everything that we can. In this specific experience for me, I learned more than I ever could have imagined. So for me, the biggest takeaway was just everything I learned, whether that was in the actual like film aspect of it, of directing and producing and writing, but also just in the relationships that you can create with your castmates. And with this quick turnaround, I was really grateful for the chemistry that I was able to build with Ashton and Isha and how that translated on screen so well, because it was really, that was one thing that I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. And it's kind of out of your hands and you just have to trust and also just be yourself. And I think that Ashton and Isha, that was something that was so beautiful, is immediately they were just committed with the passion and you could feel that.
I guess my biggest takeaway was, I got a lifelong friend here in Amelie, so there we go.
I'm a big Easter egg girl. When it comes to, I feel like, shout out Taylor Swift, because I know that she's always done that with all her marketing. And that's something that, if people go back and watch this, they'll learn a little secret about me. But I hope as my career continues to kind of be an Easter egg girl as well. So there's definitely been, even in the social, like everything is planned and has like a strategy behind it. So there's definitely little Easter eggs that have already been thrown in there. And I would love to see who spots them. And even on the website that I created for Goodbye Stuart, there's definitely Easter eggs on the site. And I've seen some people message me that have caught on to some things, which is really cool. And it's just so fascinating to me to see how invested and supported like the fan base can be, because to me, they're just internet friends. Even though I don't know them, the support and relationship that you can build with them is so special. We have talked about this. There's definitely, what we can say is, when I originally started writing it, I was writing it longer. But for my first project, I wanted it to be a short. So there's definitely a world where Goodbye Stuart lives to a broader, in a broader way, in different ways. And I think that the direction that the story would go would really excite the viewers. So there's definitely potential.